Good morning, fellow human. Welcome to the Human Sanctuary podcast. I am Tara, and today I would love to talk about saying no. Ooh, I know, it can be a bit weird. I think sometimes we think that saying no to people makes you selfish, and in turn makes you a bad person, and in turn puts your place in the world in a weird situation. You get this instinctive feeling that if you say no, that you won't make friends or you won't make partners because you are then rejecting life, you are rejecting people, and it's just not the case. Sometimes we are very considerate people. We consider how people are feeling, what people see, how their experience of a certain situation or environment is taking place. And that makes you a good person, right? A good person considers everyone. A good person lays out a nice foundation so that everyone has a good time, so that everyone is heard and understood and that there's no misunderstandings. But I hate to break it to you that it's gonna burn you out. That usually leads to burnout and exhaustion and a feeling of being lost within yourself. So if you consider others as good, it's kind, it's good to be kind, it's important to be kind and loving and considerate and caring. But notice if you ever feel that you're behaving in a way that is in some way performing as an ideal NPC in other people's lives. And by this I mean that you are almost considering the way you're being perceived by others in social situations. I used to do this all the time. I used to walk into a room and just believe that everyone has noticed me, everyone is looking at me, everyone is thinking something about me. And I would have this inner chaos walking into a room, any social situation, and wonder, what are people thinking? What is it? Maybe my outfit that I'm wearing is kind of interesting, or I'm standing out too much, or maybe my hair is this and that, or I'm feeling really thin, I've got this pimple on my face, or what if somebody knows me or recognizes me and they think about something that I did back in the day? Or it gets so heavy when you walk into a space of other human beings that you feel that people have a set view on you. And that can be hard. Performing for others in a way that you feel accepted by your peers, your loved ones, people at work. It sometimes feels as though you are living in a way to accommodate and provide smooth sailing for everyone. That when you consider deeply, you will be considered deeply. Because these people will then in turn be like, this is a good person, this girl, like, she'll do it, or he'll do it. If you just ask them, they'll do it for you, or oh, you should ask them. Or sometimes it doesn't even happen like that. But we think it does. We want it to. We want people to turn to us. We want to attract people into our hearts and into our community and our space. And I think when you have this mentality of how can I be a really good person, or how can I make sure that everyone is having a good time, or I want to be deeply considerate and make everyone feel seen and heard, and I mean, that's epic. That's epic. it's kind, it sounds like a loving gesture. But something I had to realize in my experience was like, what do I want? What do I want? What do I think right now? I remember that I used to speak to people and I would think, but I don't agree with that. Or I've never thought that before, but why am I telling people that this is how I think and this is what I think about the situation when I've never even thought about it before? I was sharing information and saying things and doing things that I would just feel, why did I do that? Or why am I doing this? I don't want to do this, but okay. And then you kind of continue doing it and you move around. And I never realized I was in that place. I never realized that that state for me felt like I was a leaf on a river and I was just moving. I was just moving and flowing and bouncing and rocking and just kind of, the world was telling me how to live. The people around me, the choices I had, my upbringing, everything. You know, you live from this place of perceiving your surroundings and saying, okay, cool, this is how I have to behave then. And in some way I want to bring that back to the fact that we consider the environment, the people, the place, the object, the thing, more than we consider ourselves. We consider how we could be impacted vicariously through us considering this situation. I don't know if that makes sense. Can let me explain it in a more different way. Instead of considering ourselves, what do I want? What do I need? So that I can feel fulfilled and happy and loved in this life. We consider, what can I offer? What can I do for this person, place, or thing that I will receive love, fulfillment, and happiness? So I think in some ways we become dependent on what we offer the world as a way we will receive what we desire from the world. And I truly believe that it is the other way around. That when you behave from a place of authenticity, of confidence, pride, a little bit of selfishness, you're making a soup, okay? Sometimes you're going to add a little spice. Other people are going to be like, what the hell? Why would you add that? But you add it, and you don't tell anyone. And people love it. They're eating the soup, okay? Anyways, that's funny. The crazy thing about realizing this about ourselves and wanting to behave and live from a place that feels like this is really me. This is me. This is my life. These are my choices. To transition from a time and mindset of I need to provide in order to receive, to a mindset of I need to care for myself and act out of myself, and I will receive. Because when you act from that mindset, there's a sense of freedom that you find in the way that I love myself, I am who I am, I have what I have, and you realize there is contentness within that. And within that space, you start to creatively flowing with the energies around you and the world around you and the people around you. And things begin to feel more aligned because you're working with your own energy instead of everyone else's, everything else's. You're working from your world, your perspective. That's your life. That's your world. Your world is your perspective only. And when we decide to move our eyes away from other people's perspectives, the world becomes clearer and your path becomes your own. Of course, we don't know all the perspectives and everything. So, when I first realized this, I started to practice saying no. 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 I was never able to say no. I always used to maybe say, oh, I'm so sorry, I'm really, really sorry, I don't know if I can do that. I feel that this and this, and I'm going to explain, okay? So that this person can really understand why I can't do this for them. I remember someone very special to me once said, you need to stand in front of a mirror. Okay, boom, there you are. Hey, okay? And you need to say, no. 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 No, thank you. No. 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 Say it in all the ways you possibly can. All the ways you can. No, 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 no. Start looking at yourself in the mirror and saying no, and you will actually see that you do not look evil. You do not look like a terrible person, and you kind of start recognizing yourself in other people who have said no to you and realizing, oh, this feels very normal. This is a normal experience. This is a normal interaction that I've had before, and also I look normal. You start normalizing it. And over time, you'll start wondering, when am I supposed to use this? You know, when does one say no? Like, I don't even know when I do overstep and everything. This is just who I am. This is how I behave, and, you know. So then I started practicing it in ways of saying no to making someone tea. That was weird to me. Because one, I can make you tea. Two, I don't mind making you tea. Three, I have time to make you tea. I have all these things. I can make the tea, okay? I can make the tea. But it was a safe place to initiate no. And it was a safe person. And what I mean by safe is, you don't want to do something exaggerative and intense, or something that's intimidating for you in a way that could almost kind of just make it unappealing. You know, if you're gonna do it with your boss in your corporate business and it's your job to make coffee and you say no, you know what I mean? Maybe that's not what I mean, okay? I'm talking about my situation. My mama asked me to make her some tea, okay? So find a situation, just live your life as you usually do, and take note of your safe spaces, your safe people, and take it from there. Okay, so as an example, I was asked to make tea, and I thought, oh, I'm gonna go shower now, sorry. Do you mind making it yourself? When I tell you the shock I felt and the cruel feeling I felt, how dare I? I'm so inconsiderate, because I could always make her the tea and then go shower. But no, this is a practice, okay? A practice for me to actually try saying no, and to also learn and take note of how the world will respond to that. So how will my mother respond to that? She said, oh, okay, Okay, yeah, no problem. So I was like, oh, okay. And I walked out and I thought, I kind of like that. I kind of like that because the truth is, I actually didn't want to make tea. Wow. Now that in itself, in a little bubble, is an experience, a new experience, and a lesson learned. You can carry that into many things. You can do it if somebody... I can just give examples from my own life, but my sister would ask me to go get something for her out of the room. No, I really don't want to. She goes, oh, okay, fine. Gets up and gets it herself. And I remember sitting there thinking, what just happened? Or you are at a bar with your friends and let's say everybody wants to go to the bathroom, or your one girlfriend wants to go to the bathroom. And I know, okay, we love going to the bathrooms together, and I will always go to the bathrooms with my girls, okay? It's like, yeah, it's like a moment to get away, take a breath. Anyways, and I would say, is it fine if I just chill here? I'm gonna just chill here. I've also realized there's ways of saying no without saying no. No. It's like Gollum. No. Doesn't need to be like that. You can just say, I don't really keen to go to the bathroom right now. Or, do you want to come to the bathroom with me? No, thank you. I'll be right here. Because I didn't want to stand up and walk around. I was kind of comfortable where I was. And that is crazy. To actually say no from a place of I want or I don't want. So over time, the more you practice this, the more you'll realize how often you can say no. And you'll start to kind of realize that sometimes letting people down by saying no and not performing for a reciprocal response, it kind of frees this weight between you and this person. Whichever person it is, whichever situation, you actually let go of that weight that in order to have this person in your life, in order to have the relationship that you do have, you need to sustain and remain as you always have been, which is always there, always showing up, always being nice, always saying yes, always being considerate. Sometimes that then is the foundation you have laid for most of the relationships around you, because that's where you've been coming from. That's where you've been leading. And there's nothing wrong with that. I think that most people who do end up on a path like that come from a very innocent, caring, almost inner child way of love and compassion and care for people. And it's good to step up for yourself as an adult and set those boundaries and actually evolve your relationships into a more mutually authentic one that feels that you are really acting from a place of your own pride and perspective and communication, and the people around you really like that about you. And it takes that pressure away of feeling that it's almost terms and conditions to the bonds that you have in this life. Another thing that I did notice is that relationships will change. Dynamics will change. And the way you are understood will change, or the way you believe you are understood. We can't read minds, remember that. Because some relationships will be based on and dependent on your ability to show up, your ability to perform, your ability to follow through, say yes, be nice, be considerate. Some relationships you will learn slowly as you start practicing and opening up to kind of changing the way you want to behave and interact with the world, that some of the relationships around you, it'll kind of, it'll glitch a little bit. Because firstly, this is how people know you. This is who she is. This is Tara. And now you're going to start doing like this, right? And then they're like, who in the hell is that? Okay, who is that? Tara, where's Tara? Where's Tara, the person that and I'm like, I'm right here. It's a glitch. It's a glitch in the matrix. It's a glitch in your life. It's a glitch in the way you are practicing different things, and it can be uncomfortable sometimes. It'll be the same for other people. If someone in your life suddenly switched up and started acting differently, you'd wonder, what the hell is going on? What is happening? What's going on over there? And I really think that that's good. It's good. It's good for people to start wondering, what is this going on? What is happening here? Because in that space, you kind of create this element of expect the unexpected. And there's a lot of freedom in that. You know? There's a feeling of, I am saying no, and I'm doing things. You'll start noticing that you'll say no to things that you actually do want to do, but you know that there were times in the past you didn't want to, and you'll have this eccentric energy about yourself of, I'm going to say no. I'm not going to go to this event, even though I want to, but I need a rest. You learn something about yourself, and you gain a new experience of, I said no, and this inner feeling of self-care and self-authority and an ownership of self, and you start to grow that core place of, I can say no, I can show up for myself, I can let people down in order to care and take care of myself. It's not selfish, it's necessary to your mental health, to your self-love, happiness, and fulfillment in this life. After a while of kind of practicing saying no, and you have to kind of understand, and you'll start listening to yourself, and you'll know when you know that there'll be a period of maybe, right? A period of, what do I want? What do I actually want? Because I've said no to so many things now that I kind of feel that the power that these events, people, places, and things had over you is kind of gone now, because you've released that expectation with them. You've released yourself, you've freed yourself, you've found the place of no, and now you're in a place of maybe, of kind of a limbo state, wondering, what now? What do I want? And you'll start, I really felt that whatever I do step into now, and whatever I do start saying yes to now, I want to be wise about it, and I want to be intentional about it. Because especially if you've been in a place of burnout and people pleasing, and you kind of start to not relate to that way of performing anymore. And it was a really hard place to be in for quite a while for me, because I felt that Where do I want to come from? Where do I want to initiate? What do I want to start? And I want it to feel real and aligned for me, so that I don't have to feel that I'm over exerting and over performing. I want it to be authentic and I want it to align. So it's this waiting period of what does align. And I'm going to be very honest with you. It can be hard. It can be hard. But lean into what did stick around. Lean into and find gratitude. Find gratitude for what sticks around in your period of saying no. In the time frame of you saying no and kind of pushing boundaries and all these things, the people and things and places that stick around, lean into it. Just lean into it, because there's a reason why it's all stayed, and that's because in some way it does align with where you are going and what you are doing for yourself. These things might have been in your life from a place of authenticity, even when you felt you were not authentic and true to yourself. And now that you are, these things are still around, and you can go, okay, I'm going to lean into that, and I'm gonna nurture this part of my life, and everything that I've lost and everything I've said no to, everything that doesn't align, everything that fell away, people, places, things. It's insane. The shift of saying no is insane. Love it, accept it, make peace with it. It's hard moving on in general, but I think that it's worth it. It is worth it. The confidence and love and pride that you will feel for yourself in saying no, letting people go, and nurturing things that do stick around is worth it. After a period of waiting, you'll start realizing, I need to start saying yes. Okay? Yes. Say yes as much as you can to things you want to say yes to. That's the fun part. The fun part is new things, new people, new places, new things, new options, anything new. It's going to come in at some point, as things inevitably does, always, okay? Just say yes. Just say yes. Say yes to new things, new places, new experiences. And in that space, you're now realizing that I fuck with that. I like that. I want to keep that. I align with that. That feels good. That's a yes. Now you know that there's an interest that you've never experienced before that you kind of want to explore, and it plants a seed. Or you can go and you go, this is not a vibe. This is a fat no. Boom. You start cultivating preferences, desires, choices, actions. You start to become the conductor of what you want and what you don't want. What you want to say hell yeah to and what you want to say no to. And to actually have the power to do that. Why? Because you've been practicing it. Because you've been doing it. You've been learning how to show up for yourself. Now you can do it with experimenting new things. Okay, where do I want to go? The point is not to say no and being like that. The point is to start saying no so that you can be peaceful, so that you can start saying yes and finding out what really aligns with you, what makes sense to you. In this time of saying yes more, you'll start to feel that you are beginning to walk towards a path that feels aligned with who you are authentically, truly. You are so unique. There is literally no one else like you. There can't be. There isn't. The way you think, the way you feel, the world that you have experienced as one body is so utterly special and unique that you deserve to act and live from a place of care. Get to know yourself deeply. Get to know what you like, what you don't like. What do you want to wear? What do you want to say? What do you want to walk away from? What do you want to show up for? When you're young, we keep asking, what's your favorite color? What's your favorite food? You know? And it was so fun to share your answers with each other. My favorite color is yellow. My favorite food is pizza. Sushi and lasagna. Okay, I have 3. Pizza, sushi, and lasagna. I'm just saying. And it's so fun. Lean into that. Who am I? Sometimes I think that we keep on asking, who am I? What is my purpose? And we look for it in other people. And we look for it in other places. You are literally the only person capable of really knowing who you are. You have the power to love yourself so deeply. And sometimes it feels scary. That selfish thing, that selfish thing, put it in the freaking soup. You need it. We all need pride, confidence, and a little bit of selfishness. Because that is a recipe for authenticity. That is a recipe for authenticity. I love that. Confidence, pride, selfishness. Authenticity soup. It doesn't make you rude. It doesn't make you a bad person. I think you must still be considerate and caring and loving, and you still need to give about other people. You know? It's not about discarding others. It's about stepping up for yourself and showing up for yourself. And as scary as it might be in the beginning, I promise you, if you lean into the things that do stay around, and if you lean into that feeling of, wow, I did that for myself, there's a profound experience that you could find on your path, your perspective of life. You become the co-creator of your world. And yeah, I really believe that you are lovable. You deserve love. You deserve kindness. And if you feel the world isn't offering you that, offer it to yourself. For yourself. By yourself. You'll see. The world will come to you. The world that you really, actually, really want will come to you. Do not live and offer in order to receive. Be grateful. Take care of yourself. Love yourself. Everything will come in time. Be present. Okay. I love you. I'm proud. And don't forget, we're all idiots.